story is amazing. First and foremost, the name of the book is The Man Behind the Curtain. It chronicles really 30 years of your life in the entertainment business. How cool is that?
Yeah, it makes me old.
Well, we'll talk about it. For folks, dear God, let's say, are crawling from under a rock and are meeting you for the first time right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone, what is it about this book that's different from others when you really take a peek behind the curtain?
Well, for me, it's more than just the entertainment stuff. It's really my life and how music has impacted and been a part of my life from before I could even remember. And then it finally worked its way into becoming what it is that I do. And then over the course of, 30 years, all the different people I work with, the Born Americans, folks who are, local Born Americans, Chucky Thompson, Diddy. Lots of folks like that are in the book. Nice, interesting stories, and it's, put together in a way that I think is inspiring and get people to follow their dreams and never give up on what's there for them.
You're hot stuff when you just name folks on a just one name, just Diddy,
that's right,
Oprah, we just, that's it, It's just so cool. But I'm curious, a lot of folks, were they concerned with regard to, is maybe perhaps you unveiling something that they did not want to be unveiled?
Yeah, this is not a gotcha book. I'll start with that.
Okay.
Really, it's I stay in a positive space. It's really about, how I've navigated this thing. And then a lot of folks that I've worked with that people don't know I've worked with.
Yeah.
So it became that, over the years, folks you should write a book. They hear a little story about TLC or, Shantae Moore or Kendrick, and they say, hey, you should write a book. And over years I said, you know what, eventually I'll do that. And then, finally I just did, so.
Yeah, gosh, and I got a chance to peruse through it earlier. I got to tell you, I'm really impressed. I mean, first of all, and I say this all the time, and it's not easy to put pen to paper. Yeah. In this case, you had to do that day in and day out in order to write a book. Right. And now it's been published, and folks are actually, I'm curious to know that story where someone called you up and said, hey, can I get a copy? Can I get your autograph on the book as well? Because I've seen it.
Yeah, it's funny. So many people that I've crossed paths with are mentioned, and everyone wants to know if they're in the book.
Yeah.
Right. Am I in the book? So a lot of them are, and then when they get it, they're like, I definitely want to get my autographed copy. And so, I've been doing a lot of that. And then I actually flew in on a plane from Dallas the other day, and a guy had the book, and he talked to me for 4 hours. And it was amazing, but it was great. He was asking me questions about, so what were you thinking when this happened? So he got the real perspective. He was like, he's talking to you off as he's reading it. So,
that's awesome.
So that was kind of cool.
No, that's really cool. You know what else is cool is the opportunity to meet so many folks and make an impact on so many folks as well. And I'm thinking about that throughout your career. You have really been able to, lead folks into the right direction. How does that make you feel, knowing that you played a vital role in perhaps somebody maybe getting that dream job that they always wanted?
Yeah, I think it's important that when you have an opportunity to open a door from somebody, or because a lot of people weren't there when I was trying to figure out what I was doing in my career. And once I figured it out, I said, once I get in a space where I can open some doors, I'll be sure to do that and just sort of give back. So pay it forward. So anytime I open a door for someone, I say, listen, I'll give an opportunity to you, but your job is to, once you get in a space and you find somebody else that needs a break, pay it forward. So that's how I get paid back for this, is putting positivity in the universe and trying to do what I can do. Like, what am I here for? And hopefully do that thing.
Your story is a feel-good story, meaning, as they say, started from the bottom, now you're here. Talk about that journey, because I see that you say you grew up in poverty. There were some domestic abuse issues as well. And so how do you go from that to where you are now, meeting a mogul?
Yeah, that was part of the mission of this book, of showing that it doesn't matter where you start. If you keep your eyes on a prize and you put in the work and you grind, you can end up wherever you want to be in life. So for me, it was, I've always had a great imagination, so I had to use that, because what was around me didn't show me that there would be a future. But my imagination was greater than my circumstance. So I continue to push that and do what I can do and just keep focused. And my mom was a great inspiration to me, because she's always like, it doesn't matter. You're going to be great. You're amazing. And I was like, really, Mom? Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
So hopefully I've done her proud and continue to do that. That's my goal to leave some positivity out there.
Yeah, there's nothing like that high five from mom. I gotta
Yeah,
tell you, it
yeah.
makes you feel good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And so ultimately, when folks finish this book and they set it down, what is it do you want that him or her to walk away with? The feeling inside, knowing that they've read your book.
Right. I want people to understand that, first of all, no path is straight. Like, there's no exact way to do this. My path has definitely been circuitous. But as long as you keep moving forward and just understand that you can't let other people put a timeline on your success, right? And like I said, there's no one way to do this. So, how I got there is not how someone else is going to get there.
Sure.
But I do want people to understand that when they put the work in and they work what they're passionate about, and at the end of the day, you tend to end up where you're supposed to be if you put the work in,
Yeah.
So, that's what I say. Just don't give up on your dream too soon. There's a lot of instances in the book where people have given up on their opportunity too soon.
Yeah.
And then, like, oh, so close. So you never know how close you are until you cross over, and then you look back and like, wow, I was that close and didn't know it. So, hopefully it'll be inspirational. Hopefully folks will see some of themselves and some challenges that, shouldn't define them if they keep moving. So
Your favorite chapter in the book, and why?
Ooh, that's hard. Favorite chapter would probably have to be, I talk a little bit about, it's autobiographical because it starts when I was, as you mentioned, when I was young,
Sure.
and there was, issues with my dad and stuff. But in the chapter called Planting the Seed is really about me as an adult looking back on my father's journey, who was also a singer that didn't get to do what he wanted to. And looking back at that journey and understanding that, he was challenged, and I can sort of understand him, how life had sort of broken him, and how to use that to, sort of inspire other people how not to give up on their dreams and so forth. So it was very personal. It was very personal, but it also had the point, and it sort of ties together the path that I, have traveled on throughout this book.
Sure. You just got to peek through the blinds. How about you find out what's going on behind the curtain? In this case, I'm referring to the book, none other, The Man Behind the Curtain by senior BET executive extraordinaire, Mr. Keith Lawson, joining us right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Congratulations, sir. Continued success to you.
Absolutely.
Always good to see you.
My pleasure.
All right, guys, stick around. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.